Alright, hello everyone. This is the audio commentary for the artifacts. If you want to watch the artifact without the audio commentary, then change it on your remote. This here is director Michael Fox speaking. I'm here with writer-producer William Matheson.
Hello.
And artifact fan Joey Campbell. Had nothing to do with the movie, but he's here to join us. You know, he's probably the amateur movie expert of the Bedford amateur movie era. Anyway.
That's right, don't forget.
So what we're actually watching here is a brand new version of the artifact, and I'm actually yet to have ever seen it. So I'm understanding that it's 15 minutes shorter than the original version.
Yes, the new cut is about 59 minutes, and the original was around 80, I believe.
Yeah, close to it. I think just under 80 minutes. Well, there's Matt Langell, the star of the show.
Yes, yeah, he was excellent. He nailed so many things in one take, and...
Well, Matt Langell is a superstar actor. Nola Higgins over there, Charlotte Acadia-Jewar.
It's Michael again. One will save me this time.
It was a lot faster than the original cut. Cool.
I gotta say, I was a really, really big fan of just how this entire movie, when I first saw it. How many years has it been now?
It's been 7 years. The
original
was released in 2000.
Oh, nice.
May 2000.
It's Adrian Junek. I don't know if... not really a lot of people went on to do much acting. Some of the later movies that I did, like Entourage Online, which you can watch on YouTube or whatever. Matt Langell was in it. Yeah, Charlotte Acadia-Jewar was in it.
Matt Langell was in Entourage.
He was, yeah.
I had forgotten. Wow.
Yeah, he had a cameo.
Yeah.
So this is where we start learning about the artifact. Matt Langell has discovered the artifact, and he's found it. And then we learn here that someone else is looking for it.
Yes, and here we get to one of the scenes that I filmed. So
a little shaky on the cinematography, huh?
So I'm sitting, in this other room, and Mike Ronaldson is playing the part of the principal. And in the script, it was originally written that the real principal and the vice principal would be in the movie.
Oh, this is new. The girls' hockey.
They declined. Yes, I got that from the end of one of your tapes, and it made a good cut because you could still hear the hockey from the gym as he goes into the room with Mr. Burke and Mr. Reed.
Stock footage. Do I get a stock footage credit for it?
No, because I gave you a special thanks too.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well that's good. Just thank the director.
Very much.
Mr. Mead and Mr. Burke, right?
Yes,
sure.
Mr. Mead, chemistry, and Mr. Burke, biology.
The running joke here is this is, a joke for anyone who went to CPA, I guess. There's a lot of in-jokes.
I didn't go to CPA.
You didn't go to CPA, that's right. Anyway, they had been there since the dawn of time, CPA. And the joke was that they're still there.
Yes.
In the future. Yeah,
they had been teachers, I think, in the inaugural year of CPA when it was doing split shifts at Sackville High.
Oh, yeah.
So they had been... since before the beginning.
You didn't do crossfades there for her disappearing?
I decided not to do crossfades for the apparitions appearing and disappearing. I decided to just do pop in and pop out with a
They're not cool
sound.
anymore. They're not cool anymore.
Hey, Will Matheson,
I did do crossfades.
Oh, that's
in
nice,
other
crossfades. Yeah, right. I know it's good transitional for scene transitions, but it was super neat when you can make someone disappear.
Oh yeah. People were raving about it back in 2000, 2001.
Now
wow.
In the original cut, this is Ashley Starrett had already been in the movie earlier, but that was her intro there.
Yes. I did preserve the original scene. It will be on the DVD and the outtakes and deleted scenes docuette.
Are there any Artifact fans out there? I mean, once you're finished watching the DVD and checking out the commentary, you can always try and find the original if you want to compare them.
Yes.
You can do a scene-by-scene comparison.
It's a trip down memory lane for me to watch this again. And
if you have about 3 hours on your hands to do that, you can. And this part was from a script I wrote to film. I wanted the CPA Film and Video Club, which was a new extracurricular thing introduced in 2000.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to film this dialogue about, peer scenes and dates and all this. And it didn't win. It wasn't selected to be filmed, but it did make it into the movie. However, it has been severely curtailed. Manuela and Krista here, they had a much longer dialogue, and it was cut back quite a bit because it didn't really have anything to do with the movie.
Yeah, that whole scene was a lot longer.
Just wondering if any of you guys had any high school sweethearts that were in this movie with you.
Well, I didn't personally.
None that you could share with us?
No,
Was this-
emphatically no. It was pretty unromantic.
Oh. Was this like originally started out as a school project back when you were...
Well, here's what I'll look at the whole origin story here.
Okay.
First of all, technically, this is produced by the Charles P. Allen Film and Video Club, or
Well,
what we call
I think with the production house was you. We just recruited a lot of people from the Film and Video Club because we just happened to be doing that at the same time.
It's always vague, but that was like the idea. It was like the feature length movie for the CPA Film and Video Club. When we started it up, it basically kind of. I sort of like didn't really follow up on it. Like I started it up, it was kind of like you, me, and a few others, and we started it up, and then like some other people got involved, and they ended up doing 2 short films, and there was a couple that got picked, and yours didn't get picked, and Steve York did one that didn't get picked, and anyway, you wanted to do Artifact, because I was always bugging you about how I wanted to do your story of the CPA revolution.
Right, and I had
As a
started
movie.
a script around Christmas, and it took me a long time to finish it.
That's right. So you had this going, and we were going to have you were going to be the writer-director of the movie, and I was going to produce it. And
Really?
then-
You were going to produce, and I was going to write and direct.
Initially.
Wow.
But then like we swapped roles.
Right.
because-
Well, I think it's just as well that we did because
I know,
at
because
that
I think
time-
you're just kind of better at organizing the whole thing, really. I think, and and maybe like I'm not too shabby at sort of like camera work and
You're not too shabby at all.
constructing a. There's a lot to constructing a movie. It's kind of tough, especially when it's like feature length.
That was a nice little pan there.
There you go. Speaking of good camera work,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another
We
thing
were-
I remember about watching this movie was the lighting. That's one thing I definitely liked. I don't know what it was, just the different
lighting.
light effects in this movie.
well, the whole thing is overexposed slightly. I think.
I think that's what I kind of liked
I was
about it.
inspired by Private Ryan. Like, I really like Private Ryan. It was like slightly overexposed. It was like a lot of like bright whites.
Right
So
on.
we just a lot of the shots we overexposed the camera a little bit.
Yeah, like I kept some of your whiteouts. Some of them are now like whiteouts that are digitally enhanced. You were doing them manually right on the camera with the
That's right.
exposure tools.
That's right. Yeah. So you enhance the whiteouts. So I guess this is the producer's cut in a way. You don't see that too often. That's exciting. Or the writer-producer's cuts.
Yeah, well, I'm probably the only person who had the patience to like sit and watch and deal with this movie again, because it was just sort of I had this idea for people seeing each other's soulmates, and at the time I believed in soulmates, and I wanted to mix that in with the classic CPA revolution stuff with like the battle, and I just updated it to sort of take advantage of other things that I had written and put it and set it in the future to sort of future proof it.
Yeah, I remember when I sat down to read this, I really liked it, but a lot of hesitations I had was the in-jokes, like the CPA in-jokes.
Yeah.
Which were fine in a sense, because we were making this movie and we were showing it at the high school, and it's okay to have in-jokes for your high school. We did them all the time in these little short movies we did for the pep rallies and whatnot, when people would watch our movies, and it was all just full of like in-jokes that no one else would get. But I was always like hesitant about doing it in like a movie, because like you make a movie, maybe you want like a lot of people to watch it. But that's what it kind of was. I thought of it as. I thought of it as like a feature-length CPA pep rally movie, where we always made these little short videos with all kinds of in-jokes that nobody ever got, and this is sort of like a movie like that sort of encompasses that. That's always what I thought of it.
Would you want to tell us one of those in-jokes?
Oh, you'll see them as they come along.
I'll point it out right now. Well, here's an in-joke. Mike Ronaldson was the council president, and he was kind of like...
I think he was just a grade rep at
or
the
whatever,
time.
I don't know what he was, vice president, grade rep. He had
probably
just been recruited as the vice president, if I recall.
Yeah.
For the next year.
He was and he's acting as himself.
He's playing himself
As
in the
the
future.
principal.
In the future, he sticks around and he's the principal.
Yes.
This wasn't in the movie. This was added later.
What was that? Oh, the part
This
about
part was not added.
the son being expelled? Okay, I thought that because I guess later, because what was in the movie was, and this was removed, was that him saying, "Why should I have to go walking? It's freaking pouring rain." And then Mike says, "Oh, your mom told me." So that's why. But I kind of did put in the phone call.
No, it's good.
And but you know, it got sped up quite a bit. It's
This movie was made in what, 3 weeks or something like that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Primary photography and primary photography in 9 evenings after school,
9
and then
evenings.
on the Friday after that, there was an in-service day, professional development day, and you and Chris Spencer and Hearst Gannon were in that little room, and so you got that done that day. And then there's Mike
Am I
Daniels.
seeing who I think I'm seeing?
Mike Daniels
see.
went on to do a couple more of our movies, which you can watch on YouTube, or you can go to whitelandsfilms.com and
Great in the Living Impaired.
and order them. But he was in The Living Impaired, our zombie movie, and he had a cameo in Amatura.
Nice.
I think he's got a beard now,
Yes, he
a
does.
little chunkier.
I've been wanting to say this for a while, but the teachers were really cooperative with us. The administration was so-so to the point where none of the administrators
They didn't
wanted
like
to.
us having the screaming in the hallway.
Yeah, and they didn't. Well, that I could understand, but they didn't want to be in the movie either. But they were busy people. I can sort of understand that. So the teachers were much more willing to, make bad jokes about CPA than the administrators were. And I guess
we weren't
there's.
getting paid too much.
Yeah, I suppose that sort of
You
makes
got the impression.
sense.
What was her name again?
That is Colette Franchille, and she has she's gone underground. I think after this movie, I haven't seen hide nor tail of her since this was released.
There's a lot of people that I actually you got to be in the movie, and I had only met them recently.
Yeah,
This
and
little
again, it was
shot
like
here.
the film club thing, because a lot of these people were also in Life After Y2K.
Oh yeah, so we were doing.
Who are
some
these
double
guys
casting.
supposed to be?
This
And-
is the Fall Badlands reunification team. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
This music is from
Xenogears.
Xenogears. Yeah.
Yes.
This Will had initially written in Xenogears tracks to be in the movie.
Oh, I
And,
remember that.
we actually didn't have. Hold on.
Gamma Bravo here. We acknowledge your time signal, Gamma Base.
Oh, it's fun.
Gamma Bravo is ready to cut you.
Yes, I took Shannon's voice and ran it backwards and sped up and pitch shifted.
I really like this because this is sort of like what we wanted to do in
Exactly.
a sense, but we couldn't use the computers because there was only so much hard drive space and only so much time. Like you couldn't edit a feature-length movie on. This is fun. This is a lot of fun.
You couldn't even get 10 minutes down, because I remember them exporting some of the previews and the audio would get out of sync with the video.
I know, yeah. So there wasn't enough fast enough processor on the computers and enough hard drive space to actually fit video in there. Brooke Bernard was really fun in that part.
Yeah, and she was also recruited from the CPA Film Club in a sense, although she had done a lot of acting in CPA drama, but she was in the other movie being made at the same time, which was had Connor McKenzie, and I forget what it was called, but do you remember Connor McKenzie and Brooke? They were all working on this other movie.
I don't recall. The Silent Treatment or something?
The Silent Treatment, that's it exactly, and it was never finished.
Yeah.
It's a lost classic.
Mr. Law, I was in his class. That's when I first met you. When I first met you, you were screaming looking for your Super Mario story.
Oh yes, that was stolen out of his class. I took Common Pal 11, and the career and life management portion was with Mr. Law, and in that very classroom. And I
wrote
had
a
been
Super Mario story?
I had been writing a novella with Nintendo characters in it, Mario and Zelda, and it got swiped on me. It was 150 handwritten pages, so I was totally freaking out because I had no digital copy or anything. I was just handwriting the whole thing.
Any pictures?
No, but I guess you would
Use
call
your
this
imagination.
fandom. You'd call it a fanfic nowadays, but this was before fanfics were
I know.
big like they are.
I thought he was.
I
I thought
wrote
he
a
was.
Mario Brothers
They
book,
thought, everyone
kids
thought you were
book.
nerdy for writing that, but it was it was the shit to start doing fan. Sorry, what do you call them?
Yeah, well, fanfics, but
Fanfiction, yeah.
I'm not I had wanted to go back and revisit it again, and But this has been something that's much more worthy of reading.
There's you hiding in the background, everyone.
Yes, well, that's
I feel like right
that's
behind
my
the lockers.
character, though. That's,
oh, right.
That's my
He's just kind of
Craig,
creeping
and
around.
He's kind of scared. I had been tempted to zoom that one out, but I decided
just leave it.
I decided to leave that one because
he's just hanging there.
The odd little wart is fine.
No, that's what's fun about these movies. You go back, you point out all the mistakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is this?
Oh.
Like, why would they use that
Ooh, nice
computer
little
in the
laptop.
future?
Oh yes, well that is my Acer Anywhere
That is quite
386
outdated.
SX with
That
a
is
12
quite-
megahertz processor, and
You can even tell by the text.
I like the joke.
a QBasic program running there.
This is a good joke here where she says press cancel and you get full access to the network, because it was true.
Yeah, yeah.
They wanted you to
could.
log in, you just had to click cancel.
Exactly.
It was good joke. So the FBRT, alright, so we've got Brooke Bernard and Shannon Quillen playing the leaders of the FBRT, but with the Fall Badlands Reunification Team. Rick Dunn, who is a wrestler/fighter. I'm not sure if he still does that. I thought he was going to go on and become a famous WWE superstar or something.
Oh, man.
But I guess not. That's him there, Simmons. And Huey, who passed away actually about a year and a half after this movie was done.
Yes, in January 2003.
2003 he
was
passed away.
that?
Yeah.
Huey. He's coming up shortly.
Yeah.
Alright, please just send in network messages again.
And we've also got Ryan LaPierre, who was in Ryan LaPierre was in my Legend of Zelda movie, which you can watch on YouTube.
You have quite the different frames now than you did.
Oh, on my glasses,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Yeah, those are the old AV or... Well, I was going to say pilot glasses, but they're not, because pilots don't wear glasses generally. They
Did you get a lot of dances at the CPA dances with those glasses on?
no, what I would do is I sold pop. I never actually danced at the
right.
CPA dances.
Oh.
That's where you
sell
got
a lot
that.
of
Hey,
pop.
people
That's
need
where
to
you
got that
refreshments.
wonderful footage of me singing, sitting at the table
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
scaring the customers away.
No, that was a huge laugh. That was a huge
I
laugh.
laughed at that.
I remember
saw
when
that.
we played that at CPA.
I just-
that was like the biggest
yeah.
laugh ever.
Yeah.
I even impersonated that at one point.
Yeah. Oh,
This
well,
was
that's-
this was the second time this became commonplace. Whenever I'd make a movie, we'd always have like a premiere for it. Lately, we were doing it in movie theaters. We'd like rent out a movie theater and show the movie. This was like the second time that we actually had like a premiere. We'd show it on the LCD projector, get a room full of people to see it.
Yes.
Previously, Joey and I did a movie called Chronica, which we had a premiere for, and it wasn't very well received because it was shitty all around.
But it could have been like this
But-
if you
but
had
was-
edited
I
it
couldn't
on
grow the
computer.
real
But what was
mustache
fun
back
about-
then. I had to have a fake one.
But what was fun about this movie was like there was a lot of like reactions to stuff. Like people like laughed at a lot of the jokes and stuff. You know what I mean? So it was kind of fun watching it with like a huge audience.
Yeah. Like, this would be something that would be really fun to play at the 10-year reunion, for
I know.
instance, for the class
We'll
of
play-
2000s.
We'll play clips of it.
Yeah.
This is what we thought it'd be like in 2010. Christy McLeod and
Well, there are-
Joe Chisholm.
Yes.
Then Brianna Cornier, who steps into frame and then steps out of frame for no reason.
Yeah. Brianna would have been, well, she had been involved in a lot of activities. I got her off of she was one of my student council acquaintances, and I knew her through Brian Hass as well.
Whoa, she's being pretty cold to that guy.
No, she's letting him down easy.
Yeah.
It gets worse than that sometimes.
Did they break up?
He likes her, and he's kind of been writing her notes and whatnot, and she has to sort of say, "Hey, listen, buddy, you gotta."
Her friends like standing there behind her saying,
she's telling her
hey,
what's up. She's telling her,
Yeah.
like, you gotta.
She's kind of
you
giving
gotta
her
ditch this guy.
signals, making her, giving her a little opinion.
Now, some of the technology predictions are, well, I don't think we're going to have smokeless cigarettes. And Shannon Quillen provided some of the cigarettes, but sometimes it's just rolled up loose leaf. And,
Rolled up loosely.
I thought that was
neither of these two were smokers, and I wouldn't have wanted them
But
to
it
smoke
fooled
anyway.
a lot of people.
but-
It fooled a lot of
It
people
did?
because they thought that they were like, oh, I didn't know they smoked. It was like we were worried that people,
Serious?
yeah.
No, I was just bought now thinking that.
Yeah, Joey didn't notice.
I didn't
Thought
know.
he didn't notice.
Well, I saw there was a little, kind of the roll job wasn't very good.
This young man in the glasses? Well, he's probably not young anymore.
Dan Budgell.
Dan Budgell, yeah.
Yes, and we had a hard time recruiting him because he had been grounded because of this poor report card.
Oh.
So he was the famous source of that famous anecdote.
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted him to maybe even have a speaking
No
role.
extracurricular movies for you. You're grounded, mister.
Exactly.
How dare you get a 60 in math.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got him for that.
That was a
day.
big laugh too. That one. Why the hell would they want to do that?
Yes, Mr. Brian Hamilton, not to be confused with Mr. Wayne Hamilton, who was there at
Who was
CPA
that?
at the same time. Mr. Brian Hamilton.
I had a Mr. Hamilton in junior high school, and I think I heard that he moved to CPA. I'm pretty sure it might be the same one. I didn't see it. It was such a short shot. I don't know. I'd have to
Small
see it
world,
again.
small city.
We'll have to rewind and disrupt.
Yeah,
the
we
whole
can't do that during the
commentary.
commentary. Yes, I know. Maybe we'll have to
This
watch
was
it again.
this was a big laugh too.
Actually, really?
Yeah, this part here where they announced about the artifacts showing people their soulmates. And she-
Yes.
And
And
we
then
realized
you,
that she was
ergo,
looking at a-
realize that she's a lesbian if you apply that logic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa.
She's not having that because that's rough, and it's rough to be in high school in
In 2000.
2000.
Yes.
Maybe not anymore. I think they're
Yeah.
a lot of talent. But back then, yeah, that's true. Back then, yeah, you couldn't be gay.
No, you couldn't.
Like,
You
you
couldn't. Like when I came back to CPA to visit in 01 or 02, there was one fellow. I think his name was James. James Healy. I think is his last name, but don't quote me on his last
Oh
name.
yeah, I know James.
But yeah, and he would say proactively, "I am the only openly gay guy at CPA," and I completely believed him. He was
he probably
right.
was.
You believe
Probably
him.
was. Yeah.
For sure.
And then she has to tell her to leave
Yeah, to avoid the harassment.
to avoid the harassment.
But it becomes a moot point because they already know.
Yeah. I remember our drama teacher, Mr. Zink. Well, we got a lot of people actually coming up and saying that they were really proud of us for making the movie
Wow.
because I mean it's a bit of an endeavor.
Oh
making
man,
a
this is
feature
violent,
movie.
man.
But I remember Mr. Zink. He was really proud of us for having this there he is right there on the left, Mr. Zink. He was really proud of us for having this kind of edgy, kind of dealing with homosexuality kind of love story because you just didn't do that at high school, right? Do you know what I mean? So he thought it was really impressive,
Yeah.
which it was. I mean, I can't take credit. I didn't write it, but
But you did direct it, Michael. Don't sell yourself short.
Brought it to life. I think if it hadn't been for select people, including you, Mike, and also some of our actors, Matt especially, because he was there every day. He was so reliable. If it were not for a few of these standbys, we would not have this movie completed. It would just be a couple of high 8 tapes sitting in the box somewhere.
yeah. The Matt, the main characters in this movie I think are really good actors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe no one agrees with me. Maybe one people.
Like
Well, I know you
Clark
do,
and
but
Shannon?
I do.
But
Come on
you
now.
do. But maybe people will watch this on YouTube or whatever might say, "What the hell? This is horrible acting."
All those guys.
But I get a lot of those comments about my movies.
It's all about the YouTube thing.
Anyway, but I was saying Matt Landau. I think he's really good. Very. Oh, it's a honk.
You know what? We're in the Facebook age, even though I don't have it, but you can look up a lot of these people that you haven't seen in a while in this movie, probably on Facebook. Have you guys done that lately?
Oh,
I'm friends with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
We'll keep in touch.
Except Ashley Starr. She's incognito on Facebook, so I have to send messages to her through people who have her as a friend.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That happens sometimes.
And I thought Ashley Starr was really, really good in this movie. I thought
Yeah, speaking of.
it's kind of a tough role in a way.
Yeah, and she and Brooke had a lot of. Okay, well, I'm going to say chemistry. Don't take that the wrong way.
I take it the right way, really.
Well, no, but because in the movie, Brooke and
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah, I know, and that this is all stuff that was kind of I mean, I don't know. You have to look at it a certain way, but it's kind of it was edgy at the time to do things like that, right? Even
to talk about the school.
Well, even to talk
Yeah.
about school, you're right. Even the part where Shannon Quillen kisses Matt Langell later. It was just what? You kissed in the movie?
Yeah, I think if we
So
were...
people were shocked by a kiss, right? So let alone
Wow.
you know what I mean, other stuff. So this movie was a little bit on the edgy side. Maybe not so much by today's standards. 8 years later.
It is good to see how things have changed. And
I know, it's interesting.
both culturally and technologically. Matt gets this scanning device, and it's, I suppose reasonably accurate based on what we may have 2 years from now. But his communicator that he uses later, which I'm going to forget about it, is like bang on, I think, because he opens it up and it's just like one of those text messaging things.
Exactly.
People have those all
Will
the time
Matheson
now.
predicted the future. No, we got no. It's true because there's video calling in development right now. We're getting it in Canada in March of 2008. So I mean, 2 years later.
Wow.
So 2 years later, I bet it should be pretty common. People pull out their phone, little communicators.
That's the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Phone technology is rapidly increasing.
Of course, you're only going to see video calling some of the time based on, the lighting conditions at the time, and then if you're trying to like walk on the sidewalk and talk
What
to
have they got
somebody.
now? The new double flip phone, I think they got now.
Oh yeah.
It flips open twice.
Yeah, it's got MP3 player on one
here-
side,
a double
or an
flip
iPod on one side.
That was a calculator, actually. That's our art department. We used to calculate.
Oh yes, that was that my calculator or was that
Yeah.
one of the TIs?
I'm not sure. I can't remember these little details.
Right
They
on.
also, in Will's script, it was very, very detailed. He had the exact room, like Commerce 303 would be written right in the script. It takes place in this room right here. Do you know what I mean? He had it all laid out.
Yeah, I just
This is where people started getting confused about this part of the show. You see, this is a lot better.
and this is
because-
Megan.
Yeah, this is
No,
Charlotte.
that's Charlotte.
That's
Shady.
Charlotte Cage, you were
Megan's
playing
character.
Megan. But this is a lot better. Yeah, because that was kind of confusing in the first edit, what was going on there.
Big white land
But
star.
we get
right
this
here.
we get this idea that like something's happened to her, right?
Yeah, because with non-linear editing, you
It's hard to
can
go back.
much more easily
That was
go back
spooky,
and forth.
Yeah. That was your makeup too, wasn't it? Her black eye?
It wasn't my makeup, but I could have been Ashley's
Oh, okay, she
own.
did her own makeup.
And
So real.
she was handy that way. And this is my friend Krista Pius.
First to find it.
And she had a pretty good little part in this movie, I gotta say. And if maybe I'll try to put her in a movie someday in the future.
You should do another one.
I should, and take a lot more time to do it, and like do things a lot more.
We'll reunite Team Artifact. You can write it and produce it.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Root Beer Fest?
Yes,
This wasn't in the
but it's
original.
beer, but it's
Root
Beer Fest
Oh,
now
Beer
because
Fest,
it's
right.
the Fall Badlands Unification Team. So those mugs are going to be used for beer.
Did we do that in one take? This part here.
This is 2 takes,
Oh,
because
2,
in the
okay.
first take, Matthew was actually standing there where
Oh,
my
that's
orange
right.
backpack is. so
Terrible.
we did a redo.
Back in these days, we used to host the.
What did you say to her, Will?
Oh, and the artifact was actually in that shot too on the bench,
Oh.
but nobody would notice.
Back in these days, we used to have the Amateur Movie Awards. It was this little fun award show.
Oh, the
And
AMAs.
Yes.
Joey's won his occasional AMAs. Charlotte
I
Cage
won,
won an
yes.
AMA for this. They're useless. They were just like.
It was a proud moment for me, Michael Fox.
Here's a
I still
joke.
have my
Can't
AMAs.
ignore it.
That's right. This is a joke here. That he's trying to get the minutes for the Students' Council. Oh, look to the left. Minutes. Right
Yes,
there on the
yes.
door.
But
Everyone can have a
they
copy.
still only give them out to members because it says
Yeah.
members please take one, so he
Right,
wouldn't
that's
be
right.
allowed to take those, right?
Yes.
Right.
Right. He's not allowed to take the minutes, but he's allowed. But you know,
He's allowed to,
more
like,
also, he's gonna
break in and,
and
scan some
yeah.
confidential documents off Miss Mackenzie's desk.
Right.
And Ms. Mackenzie is not still the student council advisor, however, she had been written as such in the movie. I guess we're just going to have to let that go.
Just ignore the telephone.
Yes.
We'll call him back.
Yes.
There's something that
Would you like me to get that? No, just joking.
We're just bill collectors.
Unless it's
Where's
not
my
food.
money?
we know it's not food, so it's not really
Yeah,
important.
It's not important.
And I need to step out for a second. Thank a friend of the family, Kelly Top, for giving me access to the sound effects that I used in this movie, especially
Okay.
that one with the scanner going there and
All right.
different things and devices.
Yeah.
And here it comes.
The big kiss.
now you can leave.
I had wished there had been just a little more coverage at the end of that shot because his reaction stays serious for a few seconds and then he starts laughing. So we had to
This is
get
fun.
into the crossfade.
I like that shot there. That's like the artifact takes up the whole screen and she's there in the
Yeah.
background.
It is. And I like this area because it's sort of like a little I think I wanted to have it either well, not in the boiler room, but in some place that was just like a tight space that was like a nexus.
Yeah. We're not even supposed to be in there. Yeah, student records.
Yeah, it's
Because I went in there and I pulled out all my, detention forms or whatever. It's like Michael Fox beat up.
Is there going to be another kiss at that point?
So much funny. Yeah, I think that's the only kiss in the movie, though. Awesome!
Now that's
how you get out of a room.
State-of-the-art special effects right there.
Excellent special effects. Yeah. So Matt Langell with his Bruce Springsteen shirt.
Yeah, and Matt was particularly good about keeping a consistent wardrobe, but the problem is that the odd time that he didn't, it made it a problem. So it would have almost been better if he'd worn a different shirt in every shot, because then it would just be a joke. Yeah.
She said the F word in a high school movie.
Yeah, that was controversial.
I know. That's the only.
Charlotte is quite the potty mouth, man.
Yeah, we were actually instructed not to do that, but we
angry.
disobeyed Mr. Savage and we went and did it anyway.
Yeah.
Was that Patrick Savage?
Yes,
that's one of the few teachers I've met.
Whoa! She got
a little bit of delay there and some reverb.
Whoa! I like this FX. That's cool. Good stuff. So she's getting inside his brain and squeezing it, basically. Using her power of telepathy. Now she's standing on him.
Why does she have to be so mean in this movie?
Oh, because it's kind of, well, I'm going to give it away, but it was kind of meant to be a manifest prophecy. She was kind of a ditz and stuff and insecure, and then she happened upon this situation. Oh, Theodore's going to do this, Joe Chisholm's character here, but it actually happened because she had sort of pushed him to it, so it was kind of like its own little paradox.
She had a vision that he was going to destroy CPA, so she's mad at him, but it's her who causes him to destroy CPA.
It's an Oedipus Rex sort of thing.
That's right.
Now what's with this? This is the second time this has happened. He's getting kicked out.
Yes, and of course we shot them at the same time, so he's got the cat shirt on again. So
this is based on a true story. Will Matheson was always trying to sneak into her classroom to learn, and kicked out.
I guess I did poke myself around quite a bit, and I was expelled from grade 10. I had been expelled. I was expelled for 2 months.
Oh my heavens!
What? I had blown up one too many times, and Mr. Whitman had his fill of it, and he bodily dragged me to the office, and that was that.
Whoa!
You had to straighten you out.
Yeah. Well, it was the dark times.
The Dark Times of Will. You should do a movie of The Dark Times of Will.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to get on to bigger and better. This is the dark times of Will. But it's where the light appears at the end of the tunnel. I like Brooke in this scene. She's so cute with her arranging her little soft sneakers there. I love those white soles.
This looks so cute with those little white socks.
Those are still in. What do they call those things again?
Yeah, look at all that big, huge supply of Skittles.
I know. I'm kind of looking at the M&Ms and Skittles. Yeah,
it's making me hungry.
Just Jackie Brown poster in the background.
Oh, that movie is the. Oh, I better not. I'm gonna watch.
Better not cuss on my commentary. I'll straighten you right out.
It's okay if you cuss a few times. I've got Chris Spencer cussing quite a bit in the document.
Oh, right. The unrated feature.
It's a little less. It's a little less cut than it was before.
What's going on in the pictures? Pictures of ours.
And here's Kristen Langell.
Wait a second.
She wanted to do real movies, really.
Didn't we just see a movie yesterday?
Yeah, we just watched Bug in a Bag of Weed.
Yes.
She was in that one.
She was in that with Amy Curry.
Wow.
She was in that with Amy, who was in one of our other movies, just growing up. Yeah, she comes into this movie mysteriously and then disappears. She was just there for the one scene.
Yeah. Although we could have put her in I suppose the prison scene when we break out of prison later. That would have been okay, I guess. But maybe we can just pretend that she died.
That was the idea.
They let her out. They ransomed her out or something.
Yeah.
Because you can leave a lot up to your imagination with this movie, and that was with the re-edit. I wanted to do that.
There's so many little continuity errors that I don't know if people are even going to notice the big ones.
Yeah. It's just it would have been nice to have like a smaller cast, like you were saying.
A smaller cast would have been nice.
This has, like, I think 34 cast members.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we can count them when the credits roll, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's when I first realized.
There's a lot of characters, yeah.
And in this scene originally, Brooke says, "And then find that Alex kid and arrest him too."
Oh, right, yeah. We don't need that.
Totally.
That's awesome. He's just chilling right by the CPA sign, just nodding his head.
Yeah, this scene was.
Don't look at the camera, Matt. Just kidding.
Yeah, we've got.
Where'd
some
that
of
cop
that
car
in the
go?
movie. Oh yeah.
Sorry, guys. I should give this movie a little bit of credit. A little bit more credit. Sorry. Who made this? Who made this piece of garbage?
This scene was originally supposed to be filmed at Sunnyside Mall.
We're all right.
But
Okay.
we didn't have transportation or the wherewithal to do that,
Yeah, we
or
don't
the
have
time.
driver's
so-
license back then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had a driver's license, but I only had the van like maybe 2 of the days we were shooting. I had it one day when we were shooting Life After Y2K, and we put the stock sign on it and had the kids piling out of it.
yeah.
And then you and I and Connor McKenzie, we sat in the back of the van and we had a little bit of a chat about different things and stuff that, I don't... It was a good night.
I like this bit, this scene. It's a good scene.
Yes, I think this is like about the pin. You've done other good directorial things in this movie, but I think this is among the pinnacle. I love how Brooke does that gradual little sit down, and then just watching over her shoulder, and
I sort of like you.
the timing and the way they say it. It's
I hate you.
Yeah, there's nice blocking.
Whoa.
yeah.
There you go.
Talk about a class of interest.
Good
Clash
blocking.
of
So there you go. See, I'm not the director, so I didn't have that vocabulary.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like
And take her away because I was envious.
that's just things like that. Like she gets up and turns towards the camera and
Oh.
things like that. That's,
You just go away. Why? Because I have no inclination to make conversation with you.
I have
Whoa.
no inclination to make conversation with you. Yeah.
I actually got that from my stepsister. This was more than 10 years ago, and we had a bit of a growling match, and she.
I have no inclination to make conversation with you,
Yes,
William.
She said it a lot more calmly, but that's where I got the line from.
Oh yeah. Well, he runs right in. Yeah, there's a man on a mission, but he
That's
stops.
the way.
I know. I just love this shot.
These
so
scope
much.
was in
I- I
place,
was-
guys.
Yeah, let's go all Matt Langell beer blast at the gym.
And then to
Bam,
be able
there he
to
goes.
cut to that is the thing, because if he had kept moving, I couldn't cut to the FDRT beer
No, it's
blast.
true, yeah.
So there you go. There's
Uh-oh.
always a reason.
The spy.
Yes.
Rick
well,
Dunn.
Rick Dunn. Rick Dunn is not the spy. Matt is the spy.
Oh, yeah,
because the
well,
school belongs
right,
to the Fall
yeah.
Badlands Reunification.
They've taken it over.
Team. Yes.
This
That's
was
East
like
Sackville High
this was
on
a
that
year
side?
after Columbine. Was that still a sensitive issue, like us bringing like guns into the school?
It was enough. Like
Yeah, I know, because we had like a joke about school shootings.
Yes, we had-
earlier.
Yes,
Careful.
yeah, and Miss Okahiro, one of our supervisors. Now, this could have been said at any time, and I agree with her sentiment. She said when she saw the FBRT bringing in their guns, she said, why can't they change the world with pens? Why do they have to do it with guns? So, and I think she had a point.
Well, she had a point, but they're not. And it's about context in a way. They're not the heroes of the story.
Yeah, and nobody gets shot in this movie either. It's not.
That's true.
Well, not with a gun anyway.
Yeah, with the camera, which is more deadly. 10 years later, you watch this on YouTube.
Oh,
Erica, I really liked Erica Laurie. She was fun.
she is 5 alarm awesome, crazy awesome, but awesome. Like I got reacquainted with her recently at a party out in the Fall Badlands.
And the Fall
Oh,
Badlands.
nice.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Would you feel bad if Fall River actually was destroyed by a nuclear accident and you called it?
I
Did
would
you
feel
feel
bad, but also vindicated.
Vindicated, yeah.
I didn't know anything about Fall River and Waverly. I had assumed it was like Fall River maybe.
Yeah.
I had assumed it was like a community of like rich people and rich exurbanites.
Yeah.
Waverly is not the same. Waverly is much different. So I had generalized Fall Badlands and Waverly, and I just had thought they were all a bunch of rich snots from the country, but really, I had no idea. And so, like, the Fall Badlands is because, like, these hoity-toity rich people have had their river destroyed, and now it's Badlands.
Yeah, I see.
Whoa, what's going on?
Well, we were like this too,
Power's
like,
going out.
when the power goes out. Because I think this was cool because it linked all the stories, like, in a way. I mean, all the stories are going on at once, but it's just cool if something happens and then, like, it happens to everyone. You know what I mean? All at once.
This is pretty cool.
You sort of cut to, like, all the different things going on.
And it is a blessing. It's also a curse, though, because if I was tempted to actually cut some of the subplots from it. I'm glad I didn't in retrospect, but I really could not cut any of the subplots because they were all so closely intertwined. Because they all affected each other,
right? Yeah,
like
that's
all
true.
the way through the movie. So I couldn't cut anything.
I don't know if there's a heck of a lot you should cut. The power was only out on the second floor. That's why there's power in this room here.
Yeah, that was a localized outage. Although it also for the reasons of filming, I think even when I was writing it, I probably would have realized that you can't have the power out everywhere.
No. This was fun too. This scene was really long in the original cut. Did you cut this one down?
Yes, I did trim it down quite a bit. And this was a scene Jeff McTiernan filmed.
Yeah, Jeff
so he took a turn at the camera. And Mr. Savage was our supervisor when we filmed this scene, and he interrupted it.
Right, we had to have a teacher supervisor for every shoot just to sort of like monitor us. And
Yes.
Pat Savage was the supervisor for this one. He was the film and video teacher.
Yeah, and he only wanted to come out after we got like almost like half a dozen or more other supervisors, because he had felt, well, I don't want to be participating in something that's not going to get done. And that's quite fair, because it would be unfair to Mr. Savage to be like dragging him out every night to supervise us.
True.
Although one thing that has changed, when I was 20, this happened in 2005, so I guess I was 24 years old at the time. 23 or 24, I was at NASCAD taking video and sound courses, and I went to CPA to film a short called Boredom, and I had no supervision whatsoever. I had free run of the school. I just walked in there with like a total stranger, Yuna Lee, who like was from Korea and had never been to Bedford before, and I got to use Miss Campbell's room where the main office is in this movie. And the teachers were all cooperative, and they all helped me, and they all like helped me with my cords even and my camera. It was brilliant.
I think it's just because you're a guest in a way. Like it's like
Yeah,
when you're like a
little different.
16-year-old student, they don't really want you to kind of run amok. They don't know if you're going to go smoke dope and
Yeah,
have sex.
yeah, and I was 18, and I guess you were 17 or 18 when we were doing this, so
17 years young.
yeah.
When I was 18, I had my very first beer.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, boys.
More champagne?
More champagne, anyone? Celebrate
I
Joey's
wish.
first beer.
We
right.
drained the bottle.
Just a song I thought of.
I didn't, and you know what was? I wasn't in this movie, eh? Like I usually at least had like a cameo.
Yeah, there just wasn't
movies.
space for it, because it didn't have that kind of snarky comedic tone that you could import at certain points.
No, I liked not being in it though.
No, I didn't. I didn't like it.
Really? No, I really did.
I wished Michael Fox had made just one little cameo. Yes.
Oh, it may have come to that, but we needed Michael to shoot
him as
every scene.
Ostas again,
except for this one.
Every scene that you could, because you had to go back to your job at Sobeys. And
that's right. I had to work at Sobeys.
Sobeys.
Yeah, I had to work at Sobeys. That's why Will Matheson was the second unit director, and he did like a couple scenes in the movie. The part with the principal at the beginning, and the scene here, or the scene that was just on.
But yeah, I just like. Erica is just such a wit. Like, it would have been nice if we could have given her some easier dialogue, or just like let her go. And like I think if I ever get to have her in a movie again, we'll do that. And Matt Langell too. In the original take of this, he messes up the Sydney Stephen building like everybody does, and he says the Stephen Sydney building, and he looks up and he just like he keeps going and he makes this exaggerated nod. The one he does here,
fairly complex.
I just love that. It cracks me up.
So Sidney Stephen Building is the junior high school of Bedford, which is in proximity to CPA. So
Yeah,
it's not
very close.
Not
It's
very
walking
far away.
distance,
It's walking
really.
distance.
Yeah.
This is cool too.
doing here?
It's a nice music touch. In the original version, there was no like musical score that played throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
Very
like
silent.
there was in the opening titles and the closing credits,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. Although you couldn't have done that because at the time I didn't have the Xenogears sound discs and I only had the MP3s.
Right.
And to get those MP3s to you, because I had no CD burner, I had to send them to you over dial-up
Whoa.
internet.
Whoa!
You see that little
Whoa.
special effect?
Wow.
And so it just wasn't feasible because you had your
No, it really wasn't,
PlayStation
yeah.
with Xenogears and you like actually just started the game up and just imported the sound that way.
Yeah, yeah. It was tricky to get music in your movies back
Where
then.
did you get
Very
a lot of
much.
your music from? Like
For this?
particular film?
Napster.
Napster.
Xenogears, the actual soundtrack. I imported the
There's
soundtrack
most
from
movies
Japan.
from that.
Some video game. Oh, you have the actual.
But I
Yeah,
thought
I
I
have the
heard something that
actual
sounded
CDs.
familiar earlier in the
This is
film.
Huey right here. If you were curious.
Yes, the
on
late,
right.
great
Yeah.
Huey Grant, 1984, 2003.
I think he was in. Tim Conway and I and Corey Strong used to make movies a lot back in junior high. I think he was in one of our movies. I can't remember. We made so many though. But this might have been his second Michael Fox movie. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, there's a few people who had been in previous stuff in the movie.
And it was kind of cool. Well, I don't know. Did you recruit Rick Dunn or did I?
I think you did actually.
Yeah, because
I think
like
you recruited most people.
I advertised. Now I remember. Now I advertised a meeting, and I said anybody who wants to be in a movie, come to Mr. Savage's room at 12 noon, and I gave the spiel.
Yeah.
And I remember Ashley Starrick being reluctant to take the character of Molly because she was like, "Well, I kind of want to be Molly, but I don't know about this, lesbianism thing." And,
I know. Well, I know
I
it's
could
like
totally
tough to
get
do.
that. Yeah.
At that time, anyway. I mean, you know what? Like, I remember just recently, like in September, Steve York and I were at a school because we were doing this music video at a school, and it was weird because it was all different because like all these kids like had cameras, like big like cameras,
Right.
at school, and you had all this like editing equipment. You could like make a movie back then. And I was like kind of pissed actually because I was like, that would have been so sweet if we had like all this gear, right, to shoot stuff with. But we just had like
When was that?
September,
Gee, this September.
this past September, yeah.
Oh yeah, well it's a different time.
and it is a different time, yeah. And I
Stuff's
think
cheaper
it's-
now.
There's that, yeah. Stuff's cheaper, and another thing is, yeah, I think there's a lot more like tolerance for a lot of there's a lot of like cultural tolerance, a lot of like
Yeah.
sexual tolerance now,
And artistic expression.
and artistic
We could have-
expression. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just what made
There's the lighting.
this is just what made the movie edgy at the time, but probably not so much anymore.
And there were 2 takes of this, and I actually had to take this first take because he opens the door so much more forcibly on that first one.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, he did. He was pretty.
I think it's a different take than what's in the original cut.
Hey, William.
There's
There's
Will
Craig
Matheson.
again, yeah.
Craig, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really flesh Craig much out as a character.
That's
He's
Commerce
just sort
302.
of there,
Yeah, that's all right. Because it's like you're just like your Will.
Yeah.
In the movie. Right?
pretty much. A little cooler. Craig is a little like he's a little more self-assured than I was.
Yeah, there you go. The power comes back on. There it is.
Yep.
Alrighty. This is they're going to run into the leader shortly, but not before we get here though. This is fun.
She'd
I
probably catch him a lot, quicker if she'd be running along with him. She seems to be doing that.
She's too cool.
She's too
and
cool
badass
to like
to
run after
She's
him.
gonna walk.
Oh, I know.
Walk and
She
intimidate
uses
him
her
all the time.
mind, not her legs, which are very nice, I might add.
Yes.
Sorry, Charlotte.
Apologizing for complimenting.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I spent way too much time editing this movie.
Oh. To die. Sweet man. My brain. Smash that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah, she smashed the artifact, so the girl from Calvert just
Can't appear anymore because that function has been disabled. So I don't believe in soulmates anymore. So the way I like to look at it now is it's just something that shows you what you want to see.
Yeah.
And that can be quite dangerous.
Well, one thing I liked about it when I first read it was I really liked the premise of a high school in which there's people who are like seeing who they're destined to be with, in a sense. Whether you believe, whether you believe
if
in
you're
high
going
school
from
or not.
that angle, yeah.
Because high school romances are very
Short.
Yeah, well, obviously very short-lived, but there's not much. There's not much put into them. Like it's like a guy and a girl will just kind of hold hands or dance.
Let's
and then
go
all
to
of
the
a
next
sudden-
dance together.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, I think that like there's already all kinds of drama. Like some, like a girl might look at another guy and then her boyfriend gets jealous or whatever. But like this was funny, where you have like the artifacts showing people like who they're supposed to be with, like the idea of a soulmate.
Oh
It's
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
possible.
and
It's
then
like
the
high school
gender
drama.
bend, the orientation bending, and that.
Yeah, and definitely the things like orientation bending.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I am happy with the way that I explored the implications of that, and that's kind of like what I like to do is like put in something totally wacky, and it doesn't even matter if it's believable, but just have fun exploring the implications and make people think.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the big final battle.
Yes.
I was happy that you had this, and I'm just thinking back to when I was actually sitting down and reading the script the first time. I was really happy that there was like this kind of final scene, right?
And there were supposed to be a lot of extras in it. Like what
there was,
actually
yeah.
ultimately happens to Brooke is she's actually supposed to be restrained by all of Michael's gaggle of supporters.
Yeah,
but, you know,
all two of them in
there's
the
me,
movie.
yeah, there's Laurie and I.
Yeah,
and I don't even stick around.
Did you just say Dragon Ball Z, that kick-ass cartoon?
Yeah.
Part by
Yeah,
And Dragon Ball Z
I
reference.
was obsessed with it at the time. Michael Kidson had gotten me into it. He and Shane McDonald and all those guys. Shane McDonald's not in the movie, but he was a buddy of mine. They all got me into like these, sorts of anime.
Well, here comes the special effect, everyone.
Yes,
Whoa.
Chris Spencer.
Chris Spencer does this.
Yes,
nice.
Chris Spencer did other effects for the movie. However, I recreated them myself, so I basically just did sort of the same thing that he did, but just did it again because it would be better fidelity.
Oh, yes.
But in this case, these are the original Chris Spencer effects that were re-exported to Video 8 and then re-imported.
I remember a
into
little
the
of that
movie.
in Enthron's, Michael.
And of course, now what I could do is I could have the audio from the original tape and then just the video from the special effect.
Yeah. It's her all along. She's the true leader.
Yeah, it kind of is a Deus Ex Machina.
Well, watch out.
But I wanted that to happen.
Yeah, that was good. That was fun. Well, not fun, I guess.
Yeah, not much fun for
That's
her.
not good. We don't like death. All right. Her name is Guinevere. That's fun too. Because she never had a name. She was the comm officer.
Well, she was always Guinevere Rogerson, comm officer, but yeah, she didn't tell people
Right,
her name.
yeah.
And it was just.
We should, did you add a clock? Because that'd be fun too. We couldn't add a clock, but in video games, you always got to escape
like a
at the end. There's
countdown,
like a little countdown
like
clock.
Super Metroid, like
Super
escape
Metroid and-
immediately.
Yeah,
That would
I
have
mean,
been
Mega Man
cool.
does it maybe, or no, not Mega Man, but
That would be cool. Like
Super Metroid. Yeah.
to have a countdown. Yeah, I don't want to call it that hard, but it is a funny idea.
Yeah, no, I know.
What's going on here?
Well, the school's about to blow up.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
just
Jeez.
inside. And
It's undergoing its death throes.
those visual effects here with the building shaking.
Although I have to start it in slowly and then ramp it up.
Yeah. I like it. She's hysterical. Screaming,
quiet.
screaming
Listen to that
hysterics.
echo.
Here it comes. No.
And if you want to follow her continued adventures, you can read Sages of Time Part 3 because it's...
Boy, you really think the building was really shaking.
Yeah. And Sages. Oh
Quite
yeah.
something.
Will has a series of stories on his website.
You should have had a cup of water
follow
with the this famous Jurassic Park water ripple.
I don't know. I don't know if people would understand.
That'd be cute, but then I'd actually have to film the water ripple, and that would at CPA. That would be hard.
Geez, they're not really in a rush to get out of the... No, don't stop for a hug.
Oh, my
Think of the debris. Think of the debris.
200 feet from the building would be
I totally changed the ending note of this movie. You guys are gonna cringe if that's what you were wanting.
Whoa! Oh, man. Oh, precious memories all blown to bits.
Oh,
Well, that's exactly what it is. Precious memories all blown to bits.
Well, everyone, that was Artifact.
Well, we don't need to stop now. The credits will be on for a minute or two. So if you have any closing thoughts, now's the time.
I gotta say, it was definitely an honor.
Is this in alphabetical order?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The build cast members in alphabetical order. I actually forgot to bill Charlotte Dewar. It's funny, like she has a very important part, but she was only available to shoot for certain nights, so her part is probably smaller than it would have been.
Yeah.
And
Charlotte Acadia Dewar, she added that. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't fit on the screen. Everybody else gets 2 names. She only gets 2 names.
Okay, that's true.
And what's this tune playing here?
This is Sarah McLachlan's Possession from the album Fumbling Towards Ecstasy. And the funny thing about this is I had put this in as a straightforward love song because I was like, well, this is so good. I will be the one to kiss you so hard, etc. I thought it would just be so excellent. Mm-hmm. But it's actually written from the point of view of an obsessed fan of Sarah McLachlan's.
Oh.
So it's written from the view of like a stalker who like eventually commits suicide.
Oh, okay.
So it has this really unintentional dark twist to it because, you've got, the whole Brooke and...
You didn't credit, oh, there we go, Fireball sequence effects.
Oh, yes, totally. No, I would not credit Chris Spencer. It's very...
Right.
He really helped this movie come out because, like, I don't... Just that visual effect sequence he did, I think, pushed it over the top at the time.
All right, let's count everyone who's in the movie.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I like the end titles. We didn't really have good end titles in the original version.
As himself, we got a lot of...
No,
we got 10 so far.
I like this version. It's good. Just keep in mind, I'm watching this for the first time because Will sat down and recut it.
This is the newly revised credits, right?
It is, yeah.
Nice.
The version is shorter. I think it's about, like 20 minutes shorter, actually. So there's a lot of other stuff in the movie, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Like, there's a lot of, like, I don't know. I think the scenes are a lot shorter in this, which is probably good, because it's a shorter watch. It's a little bit easier to watch. And I think, Will kind of cut stuff out that was just irrelevant to the plot, not necessarily...
32.
Good.
I say, so I got 32 in that list. And
32?
Might be plus or minus 1 or 2.
That's quite the cast.
But the thing is, you're getting into, like, very important cast members who are, like, appearing just at... Like, I think it's kind of lopsided. I had way too many characters and way too much stuff at the beginning of the movie. Like, and the thing is it really only kicks into gear when the FBRT arrives.
True, yeah.
And so I tried my best to really... Most of the cuts happen between the opening and the FBRT arriving.
Yeah, okay.
Those are our supervisors. They were very helpful. And these are the selections from Xenogears.
Nice.
Cool.
1998, almost 10 years ago.
I know, and it's still a classic. I'm going to write a FAQ for Xenogears as soon as I get this DVD mastered. That's my next project.
You had, like, the number 1 FAQ of Star Fox, didn't you?
I did for a while. I don't anymore.
Oh, someone wrote a better
somebody,
one?
well, no, not a better one, but just like more recently updated.
Oh, I see.
Because they want people to like keep going back and like adding things to it. But there's not much you can add to Star Fox.
It's an old Super Nintendo game.
It's there. It's done. I have everything in that game is in that FAQ.
I love
Sony high-end cameras provided by... Yeah, we were fortunate to use the console cameras because mine wasn't as good as that one.
Yeah. And I got to put out a shout out for the Center of Art tapes because, now in 2007 I had to re-import the stuff. So I went to the Center of Art tapes on at the CBC building at the corner on Bell Road in Sackville, and I rented their camera for a day and brought it here. We got out a box and we found the footage. So that's why Michael Fox is in the 2007 column. He is at the top because that was pretty heavy lifting through those boxes.
Go through my old archives of tapes.
It was a journey through history.
The video on this disc and the online presentation was originally recorded. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like it's kind of a joke because actually the analog fidelity is like when you first record it, it's better and it's warmer. And when you digitize things, you always lose something. That's why people are so into like LPs and stuff. But anyway.
All right, well,
that's
thank
it.
you very much for listening, everyone.